So next up, chaps, we're looking at the calculate that incorporates date and month functions. I'm currently on page 60 of the user guide, and we're asked to insert a new pivot into group work 9, and it's in cell P3. So let's select cell P3, insert pivot table, existing worksheet P3, and OK. And we're asked to drop the occupation field from the customers table into rows. So there it is, and into the rows drop zone. So our task is as follows. Use the calculate function to create some measures in the customer table and format as a whole number. The first measure is the number of customers born before 1960. Okay, right, that's our mission, should we wish to accept it, which we do. PowerPivot, measure, new measure, and it's in the customer table. Measure name is number of customers born before 1960. So our fabulous, versatile, brilliant calculate function, it's looking for an expression, so it's going to be number of customers again. So there it is. I'm going to tab, comma. Now we know that all of our customer details and their demographics are in the customers table, and I can see straight away a birth date. So we'll highlight that and tab. Now this is new. We're going to use the date function as part of our filter context. Now we're asked for customers that are born before 1960, so it's going to be less than, and here's the rub. We put in date, that's the date function. You can see in the IntelliSense the f of x, and we just highlight and tab, and the tooltip there is asking us for a year, a month and a day. So we want the number of customers born before 1960, so we're going to, because year is the first argument in the function, we'll enter 1960, and it's before the first month, which is January, and the first day, which is the 1st of January, and the closing parenthesis. Now that was a strange one, but that is how we construct the required filter context for PowerPivot to return the number of customers born before 1960. Okay, now can you see the closing parenthesis has closed only the opening for the date function? We still need another one to close it for the opening parenthesis for the calculate function. So we enter another closing parenthesis, and now the first one, the first parenthesis, is bold. It's a really good indicator. We're asked to format as a whole number again because it's the number of customers. Separator, let's check the formula. It's looking good, guys. So number of customers born before 1960. Well, we can only get that information from the customers table and their birth date column, and then the comparison operator is less than, so it's before 1960 and the 1st of January 1960. That's how that reads, and we'll just click on OK. That's looking very promising, chaps. So the next measure we've been asked to construct is number of customers born in January. Okay, maybe there's a promotion going on, or we're sending out birthday cards, vouchers, whatever. Okay, so we're going to go to measures, new measure, again customers table, and the name is number of customers born in January. Right, so fabulous calculate. The expression again is number of customers, tab, and our filter context. So it's going to be the month. We're looking for month. Now it can't be the date function. Dates are really good for years, but we want a particular month. Now if you cast your minds back when we were creating our date fields as calculated columns, when we entered the month function, it returned the month number. So that's looking a likely candidate to help us here. So let's type in month, and again it comes in as green. Have you noticed that our functions display in green? There it is in IntelliSense, and we'll tab, and it's just looking for a date. In this instance it's the customer's birth date. So let's type in customers, and there's the birth date. So that's exactly what the filter argument is looking for. Now we're going to close that, because if you see here there's no other arguments in the tooltip. There's no other arguments for the month function, and now we've provided the date in the form of the customers table and its birth date column. So we'll close there, and then we're going to say equal to. Now remember when we used the month function as a field in the calculated column, it returned the month number. So January, in terms of the month number, is month number 1, and a closing parenthesis. Now the closing parenthesis for the month function we entered after the birth date. This parenthesis is closing the calculate opening parenthesis. Okay guys, so number is a whole number, thousand separator, check formula. I know I don't always do that. I try to remember to do it, but I just get a bit super excited, so forgive me if I don't. So okay, and fabulous. Our marketing department would love us forever for supplying information such as that. So I hope that wasn't too overwhelming. The beauty of the video lectures is that you can go back, pause the video and have a look and really analyse exactly how we managed to return these results in the pivot table. It's just practice, guys. It's like anything. First time you do something, you know, it might look a little bit strange or, as I say, a bit overwhelming, but just go back, and the key to this is practice. And I hope in the practice exercises that are coming up that it will give you an opportunity to embed and absorb the information. But really good job, guys. Now before we wrap up, I just want to address presentation here, especially with these guys, with the number of customers earning, comparison operators, these measures here, they look a little bit ungainly. So what we can do here is go back to the measures drop down and select the manage measures. So it's the number of customers earning at least 100,000, and this one is particularly ugly. So let's look at that. I'll just move this to the side. So number of customers earning at least 25,000, there it is, and we're going to edit that. Now we can make that a little bit shorter, so we can use the comparison operators in here. Let's backspace. It's going to be greater than or equal to, and we'll get out this ugly but less than, and just type in less than. Does that look okay? I think that looks quite presentable. Now the key here is to highlight this and copy it. So Control C, or I think you can just right click, yes, and copy. And then we'll just OK that and close this one. And you'll notice that, hey, nothing's changed. What's going on, Jill? Right, we right click here and we click on value field settings. And in this window, this is already highlighted, so we're just going to paste in there. Our edited measure name displays here, but it doesn't display or update in the custom name until you paste it in. Okay, and that's how you do that, guys. So you just click on OK now, and that's so much better. And then lastly, if you highlight these two measures or the measures you want to affect, and on the home ribbon, if you just wrap text, and again nothing seems to have happened, but you'd have to manually resize and then you may have to increase the height of those rows so that you can see. What I would do next, especially if we were using a slicer, was auto fit columns, column widths on update. Right, chaps, I'll leave you to have a play with that, and that brings us to the end of Calculate. I know this has been quite a long video, but next up is an opportunity for you to practice what you've learned in practice exercise 9. Next time I see you will be in the solutions to practice exercise 9. So good luck, guys, and I'll see you on the other side. See you then.